welcome to Reckless Movie Reviews, where I risk my life every day to review movies for you. Okay, not every day, but bi-monthly I will review movies for you, risking my life. Anyway, it's Christmas time now, so it kind of goes without saying that I need to review a Christmas movie. I mean, I'm not really aware of a lot of Hanukkah movies that I could review. I mean, I know there's a slasher movie called Hanukkah, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem seasonal. Plus, I'm not Jewish. But I'm also not Christian. Whatever, I celebrate Christmas anyway, so I think I should review a Christmas movie anyway, so... Oh yeah, why don't I review A Christmas Story 2?
It's the most beloved Christmas story of all time.
Wow.
And this holiday season, Ralphie is back.
Ralphie?
Now he's a bigger kid with an even bigger wish.
Holy jeez.
A Christmas Story 2.
So anyway, you know, A Christmas Story, the original 1983 Bob Clark movie, it's a classic because it feels like a genuine Christmas story. It is a Christmas story. It doesn't feel phony. It doesn't feel fictionalized. It's an actual real account of someone's Christmas. At least, probably fictionalized account. I mean, it's based on a story, but I don't know how much of it is real, but it feels like an actual real story of a family's Christmas. It's just about a boy wanting a Christmas gift so badly, and it just ends up completely... It's just... The movie's just about disappointment, really. It's all about disappointment as a child. It's kind of a sad movie, but it's also funny. They manage to have a good Christmas despite all the problems they have, but they don't end up having the perfect Christmas in the end. It all just sort of goes wrong in some way or another. So yeah, that's kind of why I think Christmas Story is a classic. And in fact, I'm a really big fan of the movie. I got this little tiny leg lamp from the movie. It's a major award. Okay, it's smaller, so it's not as major as the major award. But I know there's actual size ones. I just got a little tiny one. It lights up, but there's no bulb in there. I don't really use it as an actual lamp. It's just decoration. But whatever. Just put that to the side. And I also have an actual Red Ryder BB gun from the movie. Ralphie wanted this the whole movie, and I actually have one. And I have yet to shoot my eye out. So, how about that? Oh, God! So, yeah, almost 30 years later, a sequel was eventually made. This year, actually, 2012, A Christmas Story 2 came out. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, really? Is this real? Is this an actual movie? Because it looked fake. It looked like... Okay, I'm going to take off this hat. It's probably distracting. But it felt like a parody. It didn't feel like an actual movie, the trailer to A Christmas Story 2. It felt like just someone jerking someone's chain or something. It didn't feel like it could be an actual thing. It didn't look real. It just felt like this cheesy direct-to-video comedy. And it was direct-to-video. It doesn't even have its own Wikipedia page. It does have an IMDb page, of course, but no Wikipedia page, so... And it was just sort of released. Like, there was no real... Like, all you could go on was a trailer. There was no announcement or anything. It just came out of nowhere. So it didn't seem like it was going to be a real movie, but it was. And I watched it, of course, eventually. I mean, yeah, I could say that I watched it. I watched it all the way through. Initially, I did not finish it. Like, I started watching it, and I was like, okay, well, this movie's just kind of lame. Okay, and then I turned it off. But then I thought, well, I guess I could do a review of it. I suppose. I mean, I don't know how many people have reviewed this movie. Probably a lot. I don't know. Sometimes I'm surprised by the things other people end up reviewing. Like, things like I thought no one would think of reviewing, but people have before, so... Whatever. Hopefully I'm not saying anything that anyone said already, but movie kind of sucks. I think that goes without saying. Just kind of sucks. But I guess I could go into more detail. Well, the whole movie is really just about Ralphie. He's trying to impress a girl by getting a car. It's basically this movie's Red Ryder BB gun. He wants this car this whole movie. The whole plot just changes from he's trying to get a car to he gets in the car to just check it out, and then he ends up totaling it, just wrecking it, and then he has to pay off the money to repair it to the car dealer guy, or else he'll apparently go to jail. So it kind of just goes in this completely unexpected direction. I didn't know it was going to be about Ralphie paying off. Like, he's not trying to get the car, he's just trying to pay off the repairs for the car before Christmas, and I don't know, I mean, the idea of him trying to get a car is an okay concept for a sequel, but it's not really that compelling. He takes on jobs, he does some wacky antics while doing these jobs, like, oh, he's an elf, ah, okay. Yeah, it's Christmas time, oh, yeah, okay. Okay, something that goes without saying is the fact that a lot of things are recycled in this movie from the first movie. You got the leg lamp, it appears again. A lot of the jokes are reused, like, they're like, the mom still does this, or the dad still does this. Like, it's just reminding you of jokes from the first movie that were better in that movie. There isn't really a whole lot more material to go by in this movie. A lot of it is just reprisals of old jokes that were funnier, like, 30 years ago. A lot of humor beyond that is just slapstick kind of stuff. Stuff that isn't in the first movie. The stuff that kind of wouldn't appear in the first movie because it ruined the kind of reality the movie presents. But yeah, it's the humor is very lacking in this movie. I don't think I did laugh at this movie sometimes, but it was just at the movie. It wasn't because of a joke or anything. It was just kind of a lame thing. I mean, one of the jokes they have, it's clearly set up. You see it a mile away. Ralphie is working at the department store as a gift wrapper. And a woman puts her baby on the woman is complaining, and she has a baby, and she puts the baby on the table where they're wrapping gifts. And you could see it from a mile away. I was like, oh shit, oh man. And then yeah, one of the dudes wraps the baby up in gift wrap. I mean, it's an actual joke at least. I mean, there's a setup and there's a payoff, but you see it coming, and it's honestly, it wasn't the way I imagined it to be, though. I thought they were going to actually take the baby and wrap it up in gift wrap, but they just wrap up the baby's basket thing. So, I mean, it'd kind of go pretty far if they'd actually wrap the baby up in gift wrap. I don't know if the baby's actual real parents would be completely behind that idea, but I would be. And, in the first movie, the whole movie's narrated by an older Ralphie. Like, the whole movie is just from the narrator's point of view of how he remembered stuff. And the narrator was actually played by the real guy who Ralphie was based on. But, of course, he is dead now. So, they got this other guy, I'm not sure who he is, but he sounds like an extremely overexcited Adam West. And it might actually have been Adam West. I don't really know. It doesn't sound exactly like Adam West, but it does sound like Adam West. And I don't know what the deal with that is. I mean, if you listen to it, which, here you go.
There it is. Our house on good old Cleveland Street. A few winters had passed, and yet another one had come screaming over Lake Michigan in the middle of the night. It had been years since the old man's lamp stood proudly in our front window. The legendary battle of the lamp that locked my parents in mortal combat would forever be etched into my psyche.
Doesn't that sound kind of like Adam West? Sort of. And one of them, actually, back to the humor of this movie, one of the most insulting jokes in the movie is another reprisal. If you remember the first movie, Flick, one of Ralphie's friends named Flick, he's dared to stick his tongue on a frozen pole, and of course the tongue sticks. And that joke is reused in this movie, except he sticks his tongue in a pneumatic tube. Like, for no reason. In the first movie, it made sense because he was a little kid and he was dared to do it. In this movie, it doesn't make any sense because he's nearly an adult, and he still does it for no reason. He's not dared to do it. He just sticks his tongue in a tube for no reason, and it gets stuck in there. And part of me was hoping that it would get, like, fucking ripped off from inside his mouth, and there would be blood everywhere, because that is the stupidest fucking thing I've probably ever seen a character do in a movie. Because they know nothing good is gonna come from doing that, but they do it anyway. It doesn't make any sense. It's so stupid. Oh, and back to Ralphie. He, like I said, he's in love with this girl, or at least he has a crush on this girl, and it's probably one of the worst tacked on, like, romance subplots in any movie, because he literally just has this crush on her, and there's no real scene where they interact with each other throughout the whole movie. There's no connection scene. But he still ends up with her at the end of the movie for not a whole lot of reason. Like, there's no chemistry between the two characters because they never actually meet and chat or anything. They just end up together for no reason. It's just shitty. I don't know who thought, like, okay, well, he just gets the girl. Okay, yeah, all right. That's realistic. That really fits the tone of the first movie. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And once again, back to the humor of the movie. Quite a bit of the other jokes in the movie are basically just jokes about the time period. Where it's just jokes like, haha, it's the 40s! Like, jokes like, oh, like, one of his friends is talking about how he saw a movie, and it has Rita Hayworth, and she's, like, taking off her clothes, and by taking off her clothes, he just means she takes off her gloves, and she shows her neck. Oh, man, that's so fucking hot. A lot of other jokes are like, this cost $3? That's insanely overpriced! What the hell? Like, those types of jokes show up in the movie. They're real groaners. Like, I can't imagine anyone laughing at this kind of shit. I don't remember the first one having this kind of humor, and it takes place a lot earlier, so yeah. Of course, the main character of this movie is Ralphie, like the first movie. He's our hero. He's the character that we need to root for during this whole movie. But the problem with that is, in this movie, he's incredibly unlikable and creepy. During the middle of band class or whatever, he goes up to the girl he likes and sniffs her hair, and it's just one of those things where it's not funny. It's just sort of sad and creepy. He's an extremely pathetic character in this movie. He's not just a little kid that wanted a fucking... Yeah, he wanted a BB gun. No, he wants to get laid in this movie. That's the whole plot of the movie. He just wants to get laid. That's the only reason why he wants the carb, is because he wants to get laid. And it's just a shitty reason to have a whole movie. Though I'll give this movie some credit. The performances are decent. I mean, you got Daniel Stern as the dad in this movie, and of course, you probably know him as, I think, he was the skinny. He was one of the wet bandits in Home Alone. He was the skinny one. I think his name was Marv. Maybe it was Marv. I'm pretty sure it's Marv. Yeah, you got that, and the mom's okay, and the kid is okay. Like, they're all decent performances. They just got shitty lines to read, and they got shitty jokes to act out and say, and that's the only reason why it looks like they're even worse. I mean, they're okay. They're obviously not even trying to be exactly like the characters in the first movie. It's pretty clear that they're not even trying to be that way. They're just doing their own interpretation of the character. They're not trying to be like the way the actors played them in the first movie. So it would be one thing if they just got some people who tried really hard to be these characters, but they're obviously not. So at least they went in some kind of direction with the acting. I don't think anyone really approved of this movie beyond the fact that Warner Brothers owns the rights to A Christmas Story, so they were like, okay, there needs to be a sequel because it's a popular movie, it's a viable franchise, so we need to capitalize on this. I'm pretty sure no one at all who was creatively involved with the first movie had any say at all in anything that happens in this movie, so yeah, it's they even call it the official sequel. Like, they make sure in their advertising to let you know this is the official sequel, because there was actually a sequel in the 90s, I believe. It wasn't about Christmas. It would just use the characters from the movie, and it was based on the same stories that A Christmas Story was based on. It just took place in the summer, I think. I didn't see that one. I don't know if it's any better than A Christmas Story 2, but it exists at least, and I guess that's not the official sequel. I don't know who approved that one, but apparently they didn't. It wasn't official enough to be called the official sequel. Apparently not. And yeah, in a very unrealistic and cartoony fashion, everything wraps up completely nicely in the end. All the characters get everything they wanted in the movie. Like, earlier in the movie, Ralphie is about to pay off his debt. Like, he worked his fucking ass off the whole movie trying to pay off this debt to this car salesman he owes money to. And they have this cheesy scene where instead he just uses some of the money to buy these homeless people some food. And I guess that's okay. And then it turns out the salesman is like, just, okay, well, you're free to go. He doesn't find out that Ralphie gave money to the homeless or anything. He just decides, okay, well, you don't have to pay me, whatever. I don't care. And yeah, that means the whole movie was kind of pointless in a way, because he's just allowed to leave. And then they have Christmas, and, they just get everything they wanted. Ralphie gets a car, he gets the girl, he drives off in the sunset. The dad gets the leg lamp again. They get all the presents they want. It's just this happy American Christmas. It just doesn't fit in at all with the first movie's message, where even if everything goes completely shitty, you're still a family and you're still together on Christmas. It doesn't matter if you didn't get exactly what you wanted, or if what you wanted, like, harmed you in any way. It's okay. It's okay. I will give this movie at least one last bit of credit. The sets and the costumes are very good. It's a direct-to-video movie, but it looks like a lot of effort was put into making like the environment seem like a real 1940s era town. It looks like they put effort into making it look like the 40s and making sure you know this is the 40s. Like in the first movie, the first movie feels much more timeless than this movie, because this movie wants to make sure you know exactly that this is the 40s. As a kid, I didn't even realize that it was a different time period. I thought it was just like, this is just the way this town is like. It's a small town. Like, it never occurred to me that it was the 40s, but this movie makes sure that you know this is the 40s. So it has that going for it. It definitely does a good job making it look like the 40s. But ultimately, this was a really lame movie. I mean, it's not laugh out loud bad or anything. It's kind of disappointing in that regard, where I was hoping that it would be just, oh, this is so bad, ha 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 ha. No, it's just lame. It's just lame. It's mediocre. It's not It's not like dancing on the grave of the first movie or anything. It's not terrible to that point. Like, it feels like it feels like like it feels like it's trying to be a loving tribute to the first movie, and it fails miserably. But at least it kind of tried. It's just lame. It's just really lame. That's all I can ultimately sum up this movie with. It's not a kind of movie you want to watch on Christmas or give to someone for Christmas. Definitely not that. It's, I guess if you want to rent it or see it some way, okay. I don't know. I don't know if this movie's going to be good enough to the point where TBS shows it for 24 hours as a marathon. I definitely don't think that. And if it does end up getting mixed in with the first movie on TBS, that's going to be a rough 12 hours. I'll tell you that much. It's going to be a rough 12 hours. But, you know, in case you haven't seen the first movie, the first Christmas Story, that's extremely readily available. It's showed every year for who knows how long on Christmas on TBS. So I assume everyone who celebrates Christmas has seen A Christmas Story. So I don't think I have to really suggest it. I mean, if you're watching this review, I assume you've seen A Christmas Story. I assume you're not just watching this review for no reason. So if for some reason you have not seen A Christmas Story, I guess watch it. If you like Christmas in any way, and you like movies, and you like stories about Christmas, A Christmas Story, you can't go, it's probably the best Christmas movie ever. So yeah, check that out. And check out the not so greatest Christmas movie ever if you want to, A Christmas Story 2. See ya. Oh, and I guess Merry Christmas? I mean, I don't know. I guess Happy Holidays, or Happy Kwanzaa, or Happy Hanukkah, or whatever. I mean, you could celebrate any holiday, I suppose. Then again, if you're watching a review about A Christmas Story, I assume you celebrate Christmas. So, first and foremost, Merry Christmas. Then the rest, too. So, yeah. See ya. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.